So, Julian, so the time we start making beats, we are working on the church keyboard. Everyone seems to kind of like everything we are doing. So like guys start hitting us up for how much do you charge to do a beat? Yeah.
You're in class 8.
Class 8 for more, like, where do you even know what? And then these are people who are a lot older than you. They're like 21, 22, 25, 20. Us guys don't know. We're literally just using church equipment and keyboards that we've figured it out.
To do your hobby.
To do our hobby.
You don't have to pay rent at this time.
So, and then now Julian starts working over holidays as an intern at Next Level. Next Level is a studio owned by Maurice Oyando. Maurice Oyando also had a band. They were like the archivals of Kina Suzanne. There's also a singer.
For those guys who don't know, that's Talia.
That's Talia Oyando's father. Yes.
Yeah.
So he had a studio in Woodley. Woodley, just like you come from Toy, then
yes.
you turn right as if you're going to the school. So somewhere in between there, there's a studio called Next Level.
What?
So now, when Julian starts working at Next Level, it's when now everything changes. Because now it's a pro studio.
You have access to a studio.
It's like a legit studio that you'd see in a magazine. All of a sudden, you're being introduced to...
Before this, you've never been in a studio?
No, we've never been. It's just been bullshitting all along. Because literally, now we're learning about condenser microphones. Julian will be like, come and see what's here. He's telling me about this microphone called a condenser. It's so sensitive. Like, we no longer have to struggle with these mics for church. Like, there's all these instruments, there's all these things. So that's where I meet guys like Peter Odera. I ended up meeting Harry Kimani in that studio. Even Eric, I think. But at that time, this is early high school, Form 1, Form 2. So Julian is working there over weekends. Then now, because I was in Nairobi school was bad for my music business. Because it's boarding.
I get.
So,
but Nairobi school had all the who's.
And then also now, the good thing with Nairobi school is, like, in the second week of Nairobi school, we auditioned. What they do, they take all the Nairobi rebels from fast formers and those who had an interest in music. So they already knew me and a guy called Henry Wamai and another guy. A couple of us.
Henry Wamai. The same Henry Wamai who I'm thinking you're talking about.
Yeah, my brother-in-law.
Now he's your brother-in-law.
Yeah. No, Wamai, I've known him since pre-unit because we were in nursery school together, Lavington Primary together. Like, I think he's the only person outside my relatives who I've seen since I was...
What?
A simple cell.
This world is a dot. Okay, so anyway, you're saying about...
So in Nairobi school, Chris Adwa auditioned me to get into the Nairobi school band. Like, yo, Rabble, can you play? I'm like, yes, because my voice had never broken.
Okay, your voice still hasn't broken.
But I have a cold now, it sounds sexy, man. I must stop stealing my shine. But the Lord, okay, you look at any effect. So it sounds manly.
So anyway,
so it was even higher.
So why were you saying it was bad for you? Oh, yeah, because you're in boarding.
Yeah.
But what did that school?
But no, what Nairobi school did is it taught me arrangement. Now you see, now I'm able because I have language gives you like ability to describe what's going on. It gives you structure. In Nairobi school now, then in Nairobi school we all knew about the guys who had been there. Nairobi school had a huge heritage for musicians.
Such as?
I don't know their names.
Okay. But then
I knew there was a guy who used to play really good keys called Jacob Asio.
What?
Yeah.
The Jacob Asio that's there right now?
Yeah. But him, when I was getting into first form, he had just left. Oh. And then there's a guy called Daniel Mwiti Kaima, who was now ahead of everyone.
Kaima was in Nairobi school? Oh.
So like when now Aaron went into Patch, into Nairobi school, when I think he was in Form 1, Kaima was in 4th form. And I knew Kaima from church.
For those who don't know, Kaima went on to to be part of the group, which was Milele.
Milele, and he's an amazing music arranger.
Yes.
One of the few guys who can like score for you a film. So Kaima Mwiti, I knew him from Lavington Church because we were family friends. And he also like had an interest in keys. He's those guys who are a bit older than you, who are too cool to hang out with you. But so you just chill with them when they're playing in church, you try and see how they hold a chord. He was still aloof. It's true, he was still aloof. So like Nairobi School had, and then all these other guys who were there before. My mind fails me now. Like really good musicians. By musicians I mean from bass players. Nairobi School taught me arrangement because the band, when you enter the Nairobi School band, it's like the Illuminati. Like it's very apex faced with the band leader on top. So the band leader's work was to break apart popular songs. Like when I joined in first form, Bone Thugs and Lauryn Hill walikuwa wanavuma in the world. So there's this guy called Brege, and now Chris was a junior because he's in third form, but Brege was the band leader. Brege used to play the tuba. So it would be so interesting how they'd come with a song, like a popular song that's playing right now, like a Lauryn Hill song. The guy breaks it down to its constituent parts. For the bass line will be this, and now when you listen, you're like, yeah, that's actually the bass line. The horn section will do this, you will do this, and because the Nairobi School band has no singers, it's primarily people who are doing music as a subject from first form to fourth form. So you're with your people.
That is such a learning environment.
So you're with your people.
Yeah.
And then what would happen is between 4 and 6, when class would end, because it's a boarding school, when other guys are going to play soccer or whatever, rugby, netball for the guys of Sharks. You would you'd go to the music center. It sounds very gisty, but it was just a Mabati operation, full of music instruments, and you could probably sit maybe 30 or 40 guys. So that's where now you chill till 6. There's a piano. So that's where now I learned arrangement. That's where I'd say Adwa, like Adwa was really cool. He was one of the fourth formers and third formers who didn't bully us. Like all of us liked Chris. Like Chris still has that golden Ana Ubaya. That's when I learned arrangement. You hear a song, and because all these other things have come before, I have a music theory background.
You have a MIDI background.
Yeah, so now you're able to break apart a song. You listen to a song while people listen to it for entertainment, because all these things,
harmonies.
You can hear harmonies, and then you're with other people who are better than you, so you learn how to break apart songs.
What? Dude, how sad is it that the Kenyan system doesn't have music anymore?
Yeah, me and Kibaki, all guys laughing. Me, I'm like, you are good for the economy, but you are horrible.
For the arts.
For the arts, yeah.
Sector. Okay.
And then now with Nairobi School, I started going to, for the 1 year and a term that I was there, I joined the music club, which means at least thrice a term, you're going to other high schools to collaborate on music fests and things like that. So with that, you get to meet other people doing interesting things. You listen to, and because music fest was primarily vocal chorals and choirs and things like that.
Yeah.
So with that also you learn harmony, because the people who are in the choirs.
Oh, now yes, now vocals more than just the band. The instrumentation. Now you're learning how the instrumentation works with vocals. Yes,
and then now like Nairobi School had 2 organs, was it 2 or 1? I think 2 pianos. So there's always music happening. It's now where you plug yourself and how you sell yourself.
That's
now the
crazy.
politics of leaving school to India. That's how now you learn how biashara ya muziki works. There were guys who were in all the rehearsals, but they never got onto the bus to go for fun.
Okay, I'm trying to see now where this touches with the first. I mean, I've heard about your now productions, but how did you move into? Anyway, go on. So
now this is now first form, second form. Now at this time, Julian has. He's already in Ditches, which is Dagoretti High School. And the guy who was ahead of Julian one of the guys, this is an anecdote, one of the guys who was ahead of Julian in high school was a guy called Waire.
Yeah.
You see how everything is just...
Everything is, like this story is connects with that and the other. The industry is a dot.
Yeah. So Julian is at next level. So when I'm in school, I'm like, this thing for patch doesn't work for my life and my life plans. So a plan is hatched for me to become a day scholar. That really stresses my parents, but that one I can't say on air. So 3 years later. I go to St. Mary's, not 3 years, like 2 years later. I go to Saints.
Yes.
Having stressed my folks, like, so now with that, I'm a day scholar. That means I can do what I want.
Because you already knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So that means on weekends, afternoons, evenings, sisasa now I have my time. So now with Julian, at that time Julian and I have still now been making beats for everyone. You want a beat? Very quickly.
So where are you making these beats at next level?
Next level or the church. Now guys had keyboards. My dad had bought us another keyboard, by then it was. But so now, as in by second form, I'd stopped making beats on keyboards.
Yeah.
Like now we only use studios.
Second form.
So now that's when Julian and I had a rap group called Born Twice.
So Born Twice was you and Julian?
Yes, because we were born twice. One of our parents and one of the Lord.
That is so deep.
So,
and your first office?
Julian tells me, let's do an EP. At the time we didn't know it was an EP, just said, let's do some songs. I'm like, but man, you don't rap anymore. We'll call our friends who can rap. Yes.
So this time you decided rap is not for you.
Yeah, we are kind of like, this is now second form. Yeah. Julian is like third form. We are seeing this thing doesn't work. We're getting more attention from
behind the production work.
The production work, production is really not just making a beat, but transforming an artist's idea into a finished product.
And that's because you had the history of what it takes.
Yeah, from Nairobi school.
Exactly.
To all these things of hanging and chilling and talking.
I taught you that you're more than just a beat maker.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, when people say producer, you think of it in terms of you bring out what is in a person.
Yeah.
And make it
anyone can do beats. Anyone can do beats. But for someone to walk in who looks like just shagala bagala, and then you're like, you know what? From that, I'll transform into this. And you'll think it's your idea.
But it's truly the producers. And there are many artists who've done that for. So anyway, but before you want to get the artists.
So now Julian, we start rapping at events, Nini. That's why I met a lot now with that because we were rapping. So I think for us, we started rapping and doing all these free events. That's why I met a guy called, it's in my rapping days that I met a DJ called DJ Moz, who owns Kubamba Radio.
Yes.
There's another guy who used to help Moz carry the speakers called DJ Kev.
Kevin Muley.
Kevin. Wow, like you can't even say his name like that. You will edit and make kittens. Yo, Kevin Muley.
DJ Kev, the mogul.
DJ Kev, the mogul.
Okay, first of all.
So now us guys are MCing. We are just rappers showing up at. There was another like super dope cult called Glory Tabernacle. With what?
The super dope cult.
It was a dope cult. It was a church, but it was a cult. To say ukweli, they tell them to sue me. Then it used to be where near Freemark.
Yes.
You're an old guy. Freemark is near where at that junction where Haile Selassie is, into the park. That's where now all the cool kids used to go buy clothes.
Yes. Gage, that is so. Yani, what? So
now from Freemark, me and Julian are performing, but we are performing to get us our word out there. Because now people have started, Hearthstone is out here on the streets. Five Alive have issued because they've gone to the UK, the US to look for a record deal. So the people who are hot now, like now Hearthstone is coming up. Kalamashaka has destroyed.
This is before, I mean, it's the time when Hearthstone was coming up.
Yeah, this is now when we were in high school.
This
is one now when you're in high school, because Hearthstone was coming up when I was in class 8 to form 2, form 3. So
we're talking 1992 all the way to 1995.
Yeah, 95 to 97 thereabouts. So Kina Lost Boys are coming. Hip hop now, like hardcore hip hop.
I shock you.
Is booming
do you know who brought Lost Boys to this country?
No.
My uncle.
Yo, can you bring Nini?
Guy, it used to be my job. Because at the time, we had, me and my partner had a mobike. So it was my job to go get Hennessy and take it to them at Hilton. Even Coolio when they came. How tiny is this one? Anyway,
So strange.
so at this time, so guys are gravitating to you.
For beats. Me and Julian, I think, have decided we're
Have you
not.
checked Virgin at this time?
No. It's leading up
Okay,
to
okay,
that.
okay.
So Julian, like, let's do an EP of songs. There was a gospel radio station called Family. I think I just opened then, and then DJ Mose, who've been meeting at events, is the guy who's made head of radio. So again, relationships. The guy you guys have been bumping with is now made the head of radio or whatever, him and Jugush at Family. So that means we can put out whatever nonsense we want and we'll get onto radio. That's when I learned the importance of radio for distribution. From performing at gigs, guys knew now Born Twice. And it's so funny, like it was just, and it wasn't that a deal that was struck in a temple in the night. It's just like, you guys, there's no gospel music happening.
You guys, in fact, explain to people the landscape.
And so at the time, there was very, like,
there's no internet, first and
There's
foremost.
no internet, so you interact with people by talking to them.
There's no...
You go for events. That's how I got to know DJ Mo. So now on this other side, RK has just come in from Burundi. He's doing his thing
with a guy called Mbuvi. They even started a group.
This is even before Mbuvi. This is now RK before the money. Like, he was, there's, like, he did many places. He was in a place on Moi Avenue. It kind of didn't work
Production
out.
now.
Yeah, production. We see RK could do two things, and he was very clear. You see, RK is older than me by like 8 years. So RK could, he was very sure, he was clear he was going to do mass market music. He was very clear he was going to do music for Watus. He was very clear he can write songs, like write lyrics and produce on a keyboard. But then you see, him is older than us by a minute, right? So we used to bump into each other because when you're performing at a gig and there's no internet, there's no social media, when you guys are backstage, you talk to guys. That's how I got to know Rafton. That's all these guys who are
coming up at the time.
Yeah. So you bump into each other at events, you talk. There's no phones to keep you guys busy.
Yes.
So you talk to people.
There's no, so, and also, I'm trying to understand in terms, and gospel is not at they've got your own gospel shows.
So the biggest gospel act at the time is, I think, Peter Odera. It's Peter Odera who's now been told he's a heretic, and then now choirs.
So Peter Odera is the Willie Paul, he's the rebel at this time.
At that time, Kaima has already left, he's gone to the US. So we are hearing he's doing dope things with a band called Milele.
Which includes Kajimbogo
Which
and
includes
Christian Mwaura.
Christian Mwaura, who's Christian cool guy's name as Harry.
Yes.
And Kanji Mbogwa and all those guys.
But they haven't come here, but there's bars that they
there's bars, like they're doing things. I remember now, like Third Form, they came to Kenya and did a show at KICC that was dope. Then I'd already forced myself into that situation and was helping on sound with Jack Odongo, who is Jazz's dad. And I wrecked their main performance because all their playback was from
that small
mini
disc, yes.
And I'd been enjoying the beats on my headphones. I forgot to plug it back. So Kina Milele, their last performance, they're on stage waiting. The beat doesn't go, but the mini disc, it's me who was listening to their jams. Dude, what? So now Julian tells me, dude, let's do an EP. We won't rap. So we did a song called We Fly and a song called I'm a Virgin.
So who sang on We Fly?
So on all of them, we were production and we were MCs, but then we'd collaborate with different guys.
So like on Virgin, who did you collaborate with?
A chick from Lavington Church called Valerie Kimani.
You are joking. You're joking. The chick who is now playing Michael Jackson in Las Vegas.
Yes, that same Valerie, ule watu wanajua, who on TPF.
What? This world is a dot. And who did you collaborate with? Anybody on?
So on that song, I'm a Virgin, is now where I learned. First, you should know where we were at that time. Like, we were so super spiritual, like, secular music is the devil.
Dude, that was a good song.
Evil meaning, so we're like, very, very pure for marriage wise, really.
Timo, you're a wounded guy. But moving on.
So we did the song called I'm a Virgin. It played on radio. Christian and heretics jumped on it because it was imploring the youth. It was fancy, it was on radio, it was everywhere. It was just a jam.
It wasn't just a jam. The production was amazing.
Because at that time now, Timbaland and
Exactly.
Missy, me and Julian just went and listened to Timbaland and Missy records, and we just faked a beat that looked like that.
What?
That jam. Me and Julian were chilling. Julian calls me, he's like, no, there's some other guys who are doing a TV show. They want to pay us 40K for this song.
40K back in the day.
I was in 3rd or 2nd form. I told Julian 40K what? Like 40K shillings.
Like,
whatever.
that was a lot of money then.
Yo. And then how that deal came is there's a guy called Paul Oyer.
My Collier's brother.
Yes. I knew him from Lavington Church because he was like the chairman of the youth. So he was like into the whole acting thing. So he was used to direct a lot of the plays. He was like a thespian. So when he left, because he was a bit older than all of us, he got into TV and media and shows, and local TV wanted local talent. So Julian he knew what Julian and I were doing, because now by this time, 3rd form, anything music to do with Lavington Church is Jules or I. Like, so when now Paul is in this TV show and they're looking for content, he's like, there's this song called... So we go for the meeting. I remember I skived school. Not I skived school, I left school...
Ali.
I skived because I didn't go for prep. Because St. Mary's had 3rd form. You do like 4 to 5 or like after that. I went for this meeting in my school uniform. I walked out Raptor Road. I went down to that place where they were meeting. They gave us a contract. There's money being involved. I'm like, shit.
Would you say that's official, the time you got?
That's when I was like,
or the
at that
business
time,
side?
I was
Of
like,
course you were getting paid for beats at that time.
no, I wasn't getting paid.
No one was paying you at the time.
No, we were just doing it for love. I mean, Ted Big Check took a lot of my beats, he didn't pay for.
Tell him now. Tell him.
The party was uncle saying. At that time, like you see, you're young, you're doing it because it's a hobby. That's the time I realized you can put a value to something. At that time, I was like, you're going to pay for this.
That explains a lot. It explains.
So you know that thing for Tim always thinks about money?
Yes.
That's where it started.
But it's basically
That's
saying
a
Tim
huge
got
acquisition.
business-minded early.
Ali. Because you see, me, I'd already done this thing
And you've already decided this is what you're going to live off.
by 2nd or 3rd form, and I'd already said applying to schools for production in the US, and they'd send catalogs, and my folks thought I was mad. Because our mail used to be full of huge catalogs.
Yes.
From Full Sail, SAE.
Prospectuses. Yes.
Prospectuses for all these campuses. And my folks, I think, I must have really... Now when I think about it, when I'm a parent, I can see how they thought I was batshit crazy. Like, how are you writing to these guys? Then now the worst mistake, or maybe mistake, my folks got a comp that had the internet. This is 3rd form. Yo, dial-up internet with that.
I know that thing.
Yo, that thing changed me and Aaron's life.
Rapping Wesley Production.